Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated backyard superstar Tim Vicious. And talking about Night of Champions pay-per-view. And I don't know about anyone else, but me, I think the name is kind of passé now. Just needs to sweep the whole Night of Champions name under the rug now altogether, because I mean, when you had the two different brands, it made sense because you had the Raw titles on the line and you had the SmackDown titles on the line, and now there's only 5 titles, and it don't feel right to me, you know, emphasizing on this one pay-per-view, every title's on the line. When I was growing up as a kid, every title was on the line on every show, no matter what. And yet, now you're lucky if you even get a promo from the US champ on a pay-per-view. You know? And not that I'm saying just with Sheamus, I'm just talking like in general with anyone. You know? You'll be lucky if you see the tag champs, or you'll see an intercontinental match. But, yeah, they just need to get rid of the whole Night of Champions idea altogether. Make September a new kind of pay-per-view. You know, hell, if they want to rehash WCW names since the last Nitro was called the Night of Champions, why don't they make that pay-per-view Fall Brawl? Just random thought. Anyways, on with the show. Not even going to talk about the pre-show with Vitamin C, because honestly, this was all I heard. To sum it up. And not that I'm knocking Jericho or Christian on the mic, because they both can work the mic better than, you know, better than 90% of the guys in the back. But honestly, what's the point in having a talk show interview segment as the pre-show? You know? I mean, what they could have done was, you know, make a match for, like, you know, make a random match like they've been doing. You know, I would have taken that a lot more. But, on with the show. Starting off the pay-per-view with the tag titles, which you ain't never going to hear me complain on, because I'm a tag team guy. I spent most of my career as a tag team guy. I absolutely loved it. It was the Usos versus the Dust Brothers with the tag titles on the line, and wow. This was a good match. Very good, crisp way to open the match. Or, this opened the show, I mean. You know, it was a good, solid tag match. I liked it. A lot of good moves towards each other, you know. I just kept on thinking the entire time while I was watching it, why can't we get tag matches like this on a regular basis? You know? Even if it's a trios match. You know? But, seriously. You know, we get good tag teams on the pay-per-views, but shitty tag teams on the free shows. What if somebody's judging on if they're going to order the pay-per-view or not based off of the free shows? Did Vince ever bother to think on that? I don't know, but either way, yeah, the Usos did put up a good fight. Cody and Goldust wound up winning, are the new tag champs, but like I said, very good, very nice, solid match. It was a good, solid tag team match. I loved it. You know, it wasn't like it was very good. It was good, crisp tag team wrestling, which WWE desperately needs a shot in the arm with, because, you know, tag divisions are, you know, you look around everywhere else, tag teams are lighting up on fire like crazy. In ROH, TNA, NXT, they're lighting up everywhere else except right there. You know? Especially in ROH, you know, you got Bad Influence, and you can't convince me otherwise. I know that their new name's The Addiction, but that's what I call them. You got Bad Influence. You got the Young Bucks. You got the Briscoes. You know, TNA, you got the Wolves, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian. I mean, the Wolves. If you've watched TNA Turnaround, you'll get that reference to that joke. You know, but yeah, you got things like that. And I'm just sitting here looking at the WWE tag teams like, the fuck? You know, they had a good one going with Show and Henry, and then right out of nowhere, they were just like, Mark, we're pulling you out. You're going to feud with this guy now. The fuck? Yeah, it's a big complaint that big problem that I've been having with for a while on that part. But, yeah, moving on. U.S. title match now. Cesaro versus Sheamus, and this, pound for pound, I'm saying it right here, right now. This was my match of the night right here. This was my favorite match of the night right here. This was probably the most physical match I saw that night. Yeah, and it wasn't like a scientific match. It was just straight up brawling, which, wow. You know, it was really good, really nice. You could hear the sound of flesh hitting flesh with everything they got, and they put in a lot of good effort in that match, and I absolutely loved it. You know, my biggest disappointment with the match was Sheamus wound up getting the win at the end. You know, Cesaro, he really is a main event guy. He needs to get pushed up the roster. Instead of just feuding for the U.S. title or looking to go and toss that guy around. Just start putting him more so going against matches against guys that you already know are going to be like, all right, yeah, in about another 4 months we're going to make him a main eventer. Have Cesaro work with them. You know? I mean, hell, Jericho even said on his podcast when he interviewed Cesaro, you know, I saw something in him, and I said when I looked over you, I saw something in you, and I said to Michael Hayes right off bat, I want to work with him. You know, when they were doing their overseas tour. But I can't understand why they're not putting Cesaro up higher on the ladder. I mean, is it like Vince is afraid of having indie guys being the main attraction anymore, or being the main attraction? Because, I mean, really? Next up, probably the biggest what the fuck of the night. The Intercontinental match with Miz and Ziggler. And before they came out, this frickin' country band, Florida Georgia Line, which case the two guys looked like Chris Jericho and Heath Slater stunt doubles, came out and were doing commentary for whatever reason they were there. Okay, I understand the celebrity aspect, having the celebrity aspect, getting the celeb rub, like, oh hey, they watch the show. You like that guy? Well, he likes this. You know, so in essence, you would look into that. I understand the celebrity aspect for that, but, you know, have a good, legitimate reason to put a celeb in that situation. You know, case in point, a la Mr. T. Or, you know, or Lawrence Taylor with Bam Bam Bigelow. You know, things like that. You're going to wind up shooting yourselves in the foot and wind up making some B-list celebrity the World Heavyweight Champion, like some organization, I won't name names, did about maybe 15 to 20 years ago, and look on how well that went for them. Anyways, on with the match, the Ziggler Miz match. I didn't see it live because my PlayStation fritzed out on me right then and there, right as that match started. I wound up watching it the next day, which, all intents and purposes, it was probably a good thing because I was pissed. they had Miz win, and with all things doing the frickin' schoolboy pulling on the trunks. Yeah, I'm not a fan of doing the quick roll-ups for a schoolboy finish, you know, on title matches. And here's the thing. Here's the thing on it. You know, if you want to get a quick, cheap win, do that. But a quick, cheap title win, no. If you're going to want to do a quick, cheap title win, easy enough. Do something like, when the ref's not looking, quick low blow, or an illegal maneuver like thumb to the eyes, or hit them with the title belt, something. Do that, and then while they're doubled over from whatever maneuver, then you just go and get a quick pin. You know, but either way, Miz wound up winning that match, and biggest shocker from that match was the ball bag wound up actually doing an actual half-decent figure 4 that night. I know, shocking. And yeah, that's going to be the new thing now with me. I'm going to constantly keep calling the Miz the ball bag, and like I've said before, every time Miz does the figure 4, God kills a kitten. So folks, please do something to help protect the kittens. I'm begging you here, please. Anyways, and the biggest part of that confused me was the following night on Raw. Like I said, I'm going to talk about parts of Raw that are actually intertwined and connected to the pay-per-view when I do the pay-per-view shows for you, because I didn't do it for a long time and I felt like I should have. But they did a rematch the following night and they gave Miz the title back. That made absolutely 0 sense whatsoever. Seriously. I mean, rewind the clock back to WrestleMania 28. The night after WrestleMania 28, actually. No, not 28, 29. WrestleMania 29. Miz versus Wade Barrett Intercontinental title match. Miz won that title match in the pre-show, which I still am pissed off on because you had a solid mid-card title match on a fucking pre-show. And the following night, you have them drop it. Really? It just... And then you do the same thing again. You had lightning strike in the same exact way twice. Just on a different person. I mean, what the flying... What the fuck? It makes 0 sense. 0. You see that? 0. I am getting that fucking pissed. What the hell? And yeah, it makes no sense on that part, because if you're gonna book Miz as being the champ, easy enough. You know what you do? Have him be the champ, and have him. Then you can wind up doing things like start shooting these little vignettes of how he's gonna go and on how like he's in a Hollywood studio getting makeup done and all, and just have him holding the title and being like, "Oh, hey, I didn't see you there." You know, just don't mind me. It's actors like myself have to get ready. Gonna be doing an important photo shoot in a minute, and oh, can we get some polish for this, please? You know, something like that. You know, something like that would work. But and also, what pissed me off about with that match, Ziggler won the same exact way Miz won, doing a schoolboy holding the trunks. Ziggler is a babyface now. Why is the babyface winning using a heel maneuver? Seriously, this is... It's booking 101, people. You don't want to... You don't want to screw yourself around like this. next matchup, it was originally going to be Rollins versus Reigns, and I did say on last week's episode that it was idiotic of them to book Reigns versus Rollins in the match on Raw before they had the show on pay-per-view, but news broke out like a day or two before the show. Reigns had to go and get emergency surgery, which, by the way, Roman, hope you get better soon. You know, it was a very serious one. Don't wish that on anyone I know. But he got that. He's healing and recovering. But Seth came out, said Roman took the coward's way out, having to go and get an emergency surgery, and saying he won by a count out. Next thing you know, he said, I will issue an open challenge to anyone. Next thing you know, they go up to the Tron, and they see a cab pulling in, and right out of nowhere, next thing you know, right out the cab, who comes out? But the Titty Master, Dean Ambrose, has returned. In which case, by God, he's here! The Titty Master's here! Yes. Okay, done with the Titty Master jokes, for now at least. Rollins has just got that deer in the headlights look like, what the hell is he doing here? What's he doing here? What? And Ambrose just went full on Johnny Moxley on his ass and started whooping him stupid. And next thing you know, we got our obligatory Jamie Noble sighting, you know, of being part of the security detail to pull him away. Next thing you know, Ambrose just went right around on top of the stand, right on top of one of the light displays. It's like, I believe I can fly, and then jumped onto everyone, and then tucked and rolled, and then started going after Rollins again. Started beating him up until eventually he got away. Next night on Raw, Ambrose started the show. He was like, I'm back! You know, I can't really remember that much from what they did. But, yeah, he put my head in through Cinderblock, and I gotta tell you, that was a pretty good idea. I would have done it. And he did that, started talking about on how he wanted to go and kick Rollins' ass, and I'm not going to spoil the rest because there's still more of the pay-per-view I need to talk about first. So, they wound up doing... Next thing you know, next matchup, it was Rusev versus Henry, which, like I said before, I always like patriotic storylines because it's a good way to develop quick heat as a heel and a quick face turn. You know, that's a good way. It's a good, solid way. Excuse me, I'm getting so worn out. I'm getting worn out screaming like this. I'm also running on like 3 hours of sleep, so work with me, people! Anyways, Henry came out first with the singlet. Big Show hooked him up with. He was like, Big Show earlier in the pay-per-view was like, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy that was able to hook me up with something for you, and then pulled that out. In which case, my big thing is, well, Big Show may know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. How did Big Show get Mark Henry's measurements? Was Henry just asleep in a hotel room one night? Big Show snuck in with the measuring tape like a tailor. I'm like, okay, leg, 42, arm, 76, chest, 43, inseam, okay, I'll leave it at that. You know, but he came out sporting a USA singlet. Next thing you know, had Lillian Garcia go and sing the national anthem, and then Henry just started bawling, and I mean like the Ric Flair ugly man tears kind of crying. Which case, I swear, man, why isn't Vince likes putting his guys in movies? Why isn't Henry in a movie? He's able to cry on cue, and he hook, line, and sinker he hooked all of us when he did that retirement speech, when he was wearing that pink suit. You know, seriously, Henry would work great for a movie. But, moving on, after that, probably one of the best parts of the pay-per-view came out. Lana. Like I said, I could watch her read a phone book all day. But enough about random fantasies that I'm having. On with the pay-per-view and the show. The match, again, it's, well, what you would expect with two big guys that size. It wasn't, again, not a scientific match. It was just straight up physical. And the matches themselves, all the matches on the pay-per-view were very physical and, you know, not very scientific. It was more like a more straight up slugfest kind of brawler kind of a night. You know, I didn't, yeah, but yeah, Henry, he had the good upper advantage at first for a while. Once he tossed Rusev out, next thing you know, Rusev took advantage, tossed him, you know, and pushed him into the ring post and the stairs. Started doing that to wear him down, and then Henry, trying to fight back, wound up with every last ounce of strength he had. Got Rusev up, wham, hit him with a World's Strongest Slam. And that was like his last move, his last big offensive move, because then, next thing you know, eventually Rusev got the accolade in, pulled back, and Henry tapped out in a matter of seconds. Yeah, seconds. Not even holding out like, no, yeah, like that. No, just the second it got locked in, he was like, yeah, tap. Which, that kind of pissed me off on, because look at the last guy Rusev feuded with. Swagger? Swagger never once frickin' tapped out in any of the matches that he had with him. Yeah, it's and then the following night on Raw, for whatever reason, they had a rematch, and this time they had Henry go and pass out to the accolade, which, again, I'm getting confused on to no end on why they're doing that. And Mr. Nick Meltzer McGee over at PW Smart Talk, I know me and you have been having our fair share of differences lately based on we are both advocates and our clients, and we have conflicting issues in regards with our clients. However, I will agree with you on this one part though. Rusev is destroying any and all of the black men on the roster, because he's taken out Truth, Woods, Henry, Kofi, and well, he hasn't gone for Titus yet, I believe. So Titus O'Neil, I think you're on up next on his hit list. So by all means, be careful, be safe, and don't do anything to have Nick Meltzer McGee remove your Negro, remove your Negro status. Yeah, next matchup, it was Randy versus Jericho, which I was disappointed on so many levels. Which is saying something, because it's a Chris Jericho match here. I mean, it's seriously, how can saying you're disappointed in a Chris Jericho match is like saying you're disappointed you got on Santa's good list. It's yeah, you could hear Randy calling the spots. You could hear Randy calling the spots for the match. Jericho was carrying it. It really felt like, and it didn't even really feel like, you know, Jericho. While I'm not knocking him, all I'm saying is, to me, it felt like he was like, all right, yeah, I'm not gonna put 100% into this match. I'm probably only gonna put about maybe 60 or 70% of what I normally do in a match into this. Yeah, that's pretty much on how it felt. And Randy got the finish. It was with an RKO. Jericho went to go for the top rope axe handle, but he telegraphed that finish way too easily at the fact that Jericho was literally just lurched on the top rope for a minute, for like a good solid minute, waiting for Randy to get up. He was just sitting there like, come on, come on, come on. Next thing you know, then once Randy got up, that's when got hit with it, and then Randy got the 1, 2, 3. It was nice to see that Randy went to go and try and go for the punt, but other than that, yeah. Next matchup, it was a triple threat ST Divas match for the title. This was Paige, the Bella that got the boob job, and AJ. And before that, two interesting things happened. One, they had Gorgonzola Bella. I believe it's Gorgonzola. Like I said, I know she's named after. I know she has the same kind of a name as cheese. It'll come to me. She wound up doing a promo saying, "My sister is a lot like Karma. They're both a bitch." In which case, now all I'm hoping is Karma re-signs with WWE and then just looks at her and is like, "What did you say I was?" And then just goes and snaps her like a freaking toothpick. And Paige wound up getting a good promo before that, which was real nice. Now, the match itself, biggest issue always with a triple threat match, not a three-way dance. Huge difference. Three-way dance, elimination rules. Triple threat match, first fall to a finish. Biggest issue I always have with triple threat matches, it always feels like there's always just that one person that doesn't belong in the match. And while I'm not going to say it's the Bella that got the boob job, we all know it was the Bella that got the boob job. She honestly really didn't. Yeah, it really should have just been another regular Paige versus AJ match, and AJ wound up winning, which confused me to no end, considering the promo that Paige wound up doing right before the match. You know, I mean, it made no sense whatsoever on that part, because seriously, why are you going to have the champ talk about where she sees flaws in these two and on how she's going to exploit them, and next thing you know, drop the title? And at least one good thing that we're getting out of this is now we're getting less and less CM Punk chants the more AJ's out there. So, thank you. People are finally starting to catch on. The guy frickin' walked out on his fans, so stop cheering for him. You know? But yeah. Next matchup, it was the main event of the night. The Beast Incarnate. The one behind the one in 21-1. Brock Lesnar putting his WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Mr. Happy Meal. Mr. Nom 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 Nom. John Cena. Yeah. Coming out there or wearing that red and yellow, looking like you're trying to either do a Hulk Hogan imitation or be an endorsement or being a walk-in Happy Meal sign. Can't tell which. Although in all fairness, Brock Lesnar does endorse Jimmy John's a lot, so I could see why McDonald's may be saying, "Hey, look, that guy's getting endorsed. We need an endorsement. We need a wrestler to endorse us. Get John Cena on the line." That's probably on how that went. Anyways, this match, I liked it. The psychology to me, the match, the psychology in that match, it wasn't on par with what was at SummerSlam, but in all honesty, SummerSlam's booking was more so for sheer dominance. This one was more so to show I can fight. So that's probably why. Cena, he did put up more of a fight this time, but Brock still was throwing his weight and, you know, wasn't afraid to use his size, and he knew on how to use his size to his advantage. Good thing that was nice was Brock wound up having the Kimura locked in, and the whole time he had it locked in, I was just thinking, just wait to hear Paul say break him, and then Brock just get that snap, and then snap his arm. I was waiting to see that. And I know I'm probably going to get a couple Cena fans and those that pray at the altar of Cena mad at me, in which case, Brother Robot Hammer, Brother Masked Mark, I'm sorry. Y'all know how I feel about the man. But Cena, he wound up starting to pick up some momentum, wound up hitting an AA and then locked in an STF, and everyone was saying it looked like Brock was about to tap out. Next thing you know, Rollins came out, wham, hit Cena with the suitcase, rolled Cena out of the ring, then went over and did a curb stomp on Brock, and then was just looking, and he just had that look like, what the fuck did I just do? He's down. Wait, he's down. And then grabbed the briefcase like, I'm cashing in, I'm cashing in, I'm cashing in. And just before the bell could ring, Cena interfered and started throwing it down on Rollins, and then Rollins walked away. So technically Rollins never did cash in since the bell was never rang. Now, on how that tied in, when Ambrose was out, Cena came out saying, I'm pissed at Rollins, I won him. Next thing you know, Authority came out and then Ambrose and Cena both chased after them, started beating up on Hunter, Randy, Kane, and Rollins. Ambrose was chasing after Rollins, throwing him around everywhere, and then Rollins eventually got into the back and drove off in somebody's minivan. Next thing you know, Rollins wound up sneaking back in just as Dean was about to win his match against Kane, and next thing you know, they started going at each other in the back. Security detail, and again, gratuitous Jamie Noble sighting from that, wound up locking him in a closet or in some room. In which case, and Steph was saying, he's off the handle. How many guys do you know that we throw out want to come back in? Better we keep them locked in there. Kind of a good idea. In which case, though, at the end of the night with Cena's match against Randy Orton, in which case, this was the 5 billionth match between them two. So that means we get a complimentary alarm clock for that. We get a complimentary alarm clock for that match because it's the 5 billionth. But anyways, just as Kane was about to lift the table for cinder blocks again, because now, I swear, the new WWE game better have a cinder block mode on there, or I'm going to be really disappointed. Just as he lifted up the table, Ambrose popped out from underneath him. My theory on how Ambrose got from that room to that spot, he did just like John McClane in Die Hard, with a little Zippo cracked open, crawling through the air vent. One down to the coast, we'll get together, have a couple laughs. And the whole time also thinking, now I know how a TV dinner feels. That's my theory. That's my story, I'm sticking to it. Anyways, Ambrose, he started walling on them, and Rollins, he hightailed out of there, and then that was the show of Fade to Black. I'm calling it now, if they don't book Brock for Hell in a Cell, I think they're probably going to book Cena and Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell match, or Cena, Lesnar, and Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match, or they're going to wind up throwing Ambrose and Rollins in a Hell in a Cell. One of those. But anyways, that's it for this week's show, people. So like all normal, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Make sure y'all look for my backup account, Tim_Vicious. I get put in Twitter jail every now and again. Also, make sure y'all follow all these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. Vicky Earls, make sure y'all look for Vicky's YouTube channel. I am Dandy Sunday, Mucky Morris, Axel Mulligan. Make sure y'all check out Axel's show, Axel's Analysis. It's a lot like this, but he does it on NXT, so that means, you know, his show isn't shitty like this one. Sunday Segway. Kenny can't wait to get back on again there, man. Also, looking forward to doing the Beat the Clock match with Shugs. Sinfully Sabrina, Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, Alva Ben, Just a Stupid Mark, and make sure y'all check out Ollie Bent and the Mask Marks TNA Turnaround, as well as my client, who, as I've said before, will be the new Raw General Manager, Bronx Bitch Forever. And Nick Meltzer McGee at PW Smart Talk. You want to put a federal injunction against me, preventing me from being able to help assist my client in handling your show? Well, to which I say it is quite coincidental a SmackDown talent wound up having to receive emergency surgery before a pay-per-view, isn't it? Bring it. And like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.